Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
But it worked out 100%. My uncle's like, oh, I'm gonna go over.
Yep.
Perfect. Oh my God, it's going so.
We'll try to, most of it's just like that annual business. We do have our rescheduled McKinnon students and then Becky's rescheduled LCAP, so a couple of things. Let me try to- Okay.
I don't mind if you go back.
Yeah, me too.
I know there was a lot of items on.
I'm
there.
gonna do my best. My presentation looks long, but
And-
not every slide has a topic.
Chuck is out sick and he's like, I get it. And I was like, you know.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Santa Rita Union School District Board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:30. We can please start off with a roll call.
Ms. Cindy Lopez,
Present.
Miss Sarah Turner,
Present.
Mr. Jacob Sandoval,
Present.
Miss Alvariano, and Mr. Neil Patel are not present.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sarah, if you want. Okay. Now we move on to item 1.3, approval of the board agenda.
Motion to approve.
We
I'm
need
sorry,
to.
I believe there's going to be
I have a
amendments.
request to make an amendment to the backup item that goes with 9.1. And we are amending that to remove the following employees from the list. 160927, 160369, 160306, 160063.
Is that the only amendment?
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve as amended.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, today in closed session, we have item 2.1 under potential litigation, Government Code Section 54956.8. 2.2, public employee performance evaluation under Government Code Section 54957, and then conference with labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6. And then we have item 2.4, liability claims under Government Code Section 54956.5. Do we have any public comments regarding closed session items?
We do not.
Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn to closed session?
Motion to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Yeah, we'll see everybody afterwards. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to reconvene back into open session. During closed session, the board approved, or I'm sorry, during closed session, the board denied 2.4 Canaan claim, 64251 claim against Santa Rita Union District. The vote was 3-0. We're going to move on to 5.1 approval of consent agenda for items 5.2 to 5.5. If I can please get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, perfect. Great. Now we move on to the exciting part, 6.1, school spotlight, McKinnon Elementary School. Think they're outside? Yeah.
Let me go poke my head out.
While we're waiting for them, any comments? Anybody here from SRTA? Okay, Becky. Okay, we'll wait for Becky to come. No? Okay. CSEA?
Good evening, good evening, members of the board. My name is Juana Casillas, and I'm the CSCA chapter president. This evening, I'm here to report that CSCA and the district met for negotiations for the 2024-2025 school year. Our members are pleased with our tentative agreement, and we would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to the district for the tentative agreement reached during our recent negotiations. Negotiations are never easy, but through open communication and collaboration between both parties, we can feel proud of the work we've accomplished together. We would also like to thank the board members for the continuing support to the classified staff. We look forward to continuing to collaborate with the district in future negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you, Juana, and we appreciate you and your members as well. So thank you for coming today. Okay, moving on to school spotlight, McKinnon.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, aldermen, cabinet, and community members. We are McKinnon Student Council officers for the 2024 and 2025 school year. Thank you for letting us share about the amazing things going on this year at our school. At McKinnon, we are always learning and growing and working together to be the best we can be. Our students work hard every day with their teachers, flexing our mental muscles so that we can develop the skills that we need to be successful.
We take our Spirit Day seriously at McKinnon. Here are some highlights from so far this year. Our superstars shine bright on Superhero Day, and we really let our hair down for Crazy Hair Day. We were nice and warm for Pajama Day at McKinnon.
Halloween was a frightful sight at McKinnon this year, but a very interesting cast of characters. This year, our social worker, Miss Garcia, and the counseling team at McKinnon organized our first Halloween parade in forever. It was a monster mash.
Our first graders had the opportunity to visit the Monterey Bay Aquarium. While they learned a lot, there was something fishy about that place. Our fifth grade students visited the Elkhorn Slough and learned about the marine ecosystem and had the chance to study some of the aquatic life native to the slough.
The holidays were shining bright at McKinnon. A huge thank you to our teachers and Miss Gertz for organizing an amazing winter concert.
McKinnon was a busy place before winter break. We collected 1,312 pounds of food for the Monterey County Food Bank. Additionally, we partnered with MCOE, CCS Medical Therapy Unit, and the Ruth Anderson Program to provide 150 meals to families during the holiday season.
Our third grade students participated in Farm Day at the Salinas Rodeo. Students learned a lot about our local agriculture industry and a little bit about life on the farm.
Our fall popcorn fundraiser raised $19,000. With this money, Student Council has lined up several events for our students at McKinnon. This month, we will climb inside an earth dome. Next month, our cafeteria will turn into a STEAM museum. And in April, the whole school will get to participate in a drum circle team building assembly.
Our most recent Spirit Day was the 100th day of school, where students and staff got to dress like they were 100 years old. It was a lot of fun, but I think my back is hurting. We have a lot more to come this year. Our fourth graders will visit the San Juan Bautista Mission while studying California history. The second graders will visit the Monterey Zoo after becoming experts on the animals that they will see by completing their animal reports. Lastly, our TK and kindergarteners students will get a visit from the science bus workshop on wheels.
McKinnon hosted our family math night in collaboration with Julia Robinson Mathematics Festival. Thank you to Dr. Summer Prather Smith for arranging this. Our students and families flexed their math muscles to solve math problems and games.
Student Council sponsored our annual glow party and it was a huge success. Students danced the evening away and let their colors shine.
McKinnon students also got the chance to see the Earth Dome last week. During this assembly, we took a tour of our planet from our cafeteria, learning about continents, oceans, mountains, rivers, time zones, latitude and longitude, geology, and plate tectonics.
Thank you for letting us share a little bit about what we have been up to at McKinnon Elementary School. Are there any questions?
Can each of you introduce yourselves and then also if you came here with a parent or family member as well? Who wants to go first?
Hi, my name is Valentina and I came with my mom and my tia.
Hi, my name is Julissa Garcia, and I came here with my two sisters and my dad.
Hi, my name is Mary Jo Rico, and I came with my dad.
My name is Andrew Charles. I came with my dad, my mom, and my sister, but they're at the Bobby Sox meeting.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Eileen and I came here with my mom.
Hi, my name is Miriam and I came with my mom.
Well, each of you did an awesome job. It takes a lot of courage to go up there, so you guys should be very happy with yourselves. And to parents as well, thank you for making the time to come out here. You know, and these you can only grow from here. So keep trying to step up into public, speaking in front of people, and you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you so much for being here and thank you for your flexibility. And we had to reschedule the meeting, so I know that's difficult. And Mary Jo probably remembers that I was her oldest brother's kindergarten teacher, whose brother's now grown up.
Yeah, like Jacob and Sarah said, you guys should be very proud of yourself. It takes a lot of courage. Public speaking is not easy, even for us grown-ups. We choke up. So you guys did an amazing, amazing job. This is our favorite part for us to see what the schools are doing, what you guys are engaging in and liking. So thank you guys so much and your parents for coming out tonight and presenting for us.
And if you can have maybe with your parents in the front so we can take a group picture as well, if you guys want to step up here to the front. And for the parents, if you want to take this moment to sneak out of the meeting, that is totally okay. We know you have a lot of other stuff to going on, so we'll wait a little bit of time. And if you want to stay, you're also welcome to stay. But if not, we'll wait a couple minutes for you guys to be able to head out. Okay, we're going to move on to item 6.4, Superintendent's Cabinet.
I believe that most of our cabinet members are going to not have anything. I think Dr. Summer Prather Smith has one flyer to hand out.
Yeah, I just have a update, the mid-year LCAP. See, I was just reading the agenda, the mid-year ELOP update for you that I'll just hand out.
Okay, if that's the case, we're going to move on to the board and the superintendent. We'll start off by Miss Cindy Lopez.
Yes, so I forgot my notes. I apologize for that. But I did attend a couple of things since our last meeting. The first being I think it was Monterey Office of Education said they had a kind of like a informational about AI in schools and how it's playing, all of that stuff. It was really good information. The way I see it is AI's here, so we're gonna have to learn how to work with it, whatnot. But it was a lot of good information that was put out there. Dr. Gus did mention, hey, they would like to see more board members go. I think they're having another one. They didn't say the exact dates yet, but it's really good information for you guys to maybe join if you guys can. It was via Zoom, but it's good information just so we know, kind of stay involved on how they're thinking of, setting everything up. And I know we have already our own policy, but still, it was really good information. The second thing I attended was also the LSL that day that our meeting got canceled. It was the LSL Know Your Rights presentation, and I also attended it via Zoom. I know Alva went in person. I was hoping she elaborated a little bit more on that, but basically what I saw was they had a lot of booths with like different information. I stuck around after they had attorneys up there answering questions and whatnot, but it seemed like they they had a lot of information for the parents. I know that what I stuck around for afterwards was like a plan, a safety plan for kids to have, in case, something was to happen, not necessarily deportation, but something was to happen, all of that. It was really good information and it had a really good turnout. It looked like it was full and online. It was at one point over 250 on Zoom. So that was really good. The attorneys were there, giving awesome information. I know we've given the red cards, but they also were talking about like some yellow cards. And so I don't know if we have, yeah, okay, perfect. So it was really good information about that too. So that's basically all that I have to update. And then last Saturday we had our workshop here. It was Sarah, myself, and Alva that attended. Really good information about how our students are doing too and whatnot. But oh, and Jacob, sorry, you're like, what about me? But yeah, that's all I have to report.
And I was just going to share our liaisons are also trained in doing those childcare plans.
Oh,
So-
awesome.
Thank you. Since we were last together, I was one of the leaders for the How Not to Be a Terrible Board Member workshop at MCOE. So it was myself, a board member from Monterey Peninsula Unified, a board member from the county board, and then a board member from Pacific Grove Unified. And afterwards, the four of us, along with some other people, were asked if we would do further workshops for the county, which we said that we would, that they felt like people learned more from their peers than, just they wanted to bring in the experts also, but also to have people there to talk about their personal experiences. So we'll see whether that happened, but that particular night was a great night and great conversation. Anybody who's a teacher will absolutely tell you that you learn more teaching than you do being a student. So I always learn something even when I'm one of the presenters. Then I was here with my colleagues on Saturday looking at the mid-year data, which I really appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, for myself, I did attend the workshop with my colleagues as well. The student data was really concerning, but I guess what I'm hopeful is we have a plan and there's steps going forward. I think that's where I think I have a little more hope is, we're going to see changes, and then we also saw some positive increases as well. So, okay.
Just attending as many updates, like looking at changes that may be coming down through the federal level and into the state and how that could impact our community, keeping aware of that. All of the directors are kind of manning their channels of information to look for any impacts on things programmatically, even like the lunch program, the special education, all of those additional areas, and just keeping an eye on it so that we can plan ahead accordingly. Other than that, I don't have a lot, and I know Miss Becky Morris got her mid-year update for the LCAP, so I'll just cede any of my remaining time to get that started.
Any public comments regarding non-agenda or agenda items?
We do not.
Okay, we're going to move on to informational items. 8.1, presentation of the LCAP mid-year reports.
Thank you. On the agenda item in board docs are both the full report and a copy of the presentation. While this is not an action item, it is a required action that we share where we are related to our metrics in the LCAP at the mid-year, and also our expenditure information. And so that's what I have prepared to share with you tonight. Works. Thank you, tech guys. You're the best. And so for the purpose of the mid-year review, we are going to look at progress, focus areas, of course, using data then to fine-tune our strategy moving forward. So for the rest of the year, and also as we start to look at refinements to our LCAP for next school year. We've had lots of educational partner engagement this year. Even last night in the DLAC meeting, previewing this presentation with our DLAC members. And we will continue that through the remainder of this school year as we gather input for updates for next year's plan. And just like you saw last year with the LCAP mid-year, I need to move this microphone. We will be measuring each of our metrics and actions with these visuals that show what is not started yet, what is in progress, and what has been completed. There are a few things that are complete, such as hiring certain staff or purchasing certain items, but for the most part, our actions are in progress, which is where we would expect to be in the middle of a school year. And I did begin working on this presentation in November and had it finalized kind of like end of January, beginning of February. So we're still in progress further now from when this was put together. So our first goal is all about boosting achievement in English language arts. And so we have lots of strategies around that. As you can see, the metrics are mostly in progress, with the exception of credentialed teachers and having our adopted curriculum. And our actions are all in progress. They've all been started and we're working through them. Here's more actions. And where I want to focus tonight is you can take a glance at the spending items. On most of our goals, we are about halfway through the expenses, which is where we should be. But really looking at our glows and grows. And so we can see for ELA, there we are, we have 50 teachers who have so far participated in that optional PD above and beyond what's required in the district. All of our ELA and teachers have attended iReady professional development to support their use of that tool in maximizing student achievement. And what we're really excited about is that our iReady growth this year exceeds the fall to winter growth that we saw last year. So we're optimistic about what that means for the future for us. We do have some grows that we discussed on Saturday with our achievement from the SBAC in the spring. And some declines. But again, knowing that we're growing at a faster rate than we did last year, we have hope that we're going to make improvements in that area. Goal 2 is very similar, but this time focused on the area of math. Again, the metrics are mostly in progress, as are the actions. These are the items that we have spent money on so far. You saw the family math nights that our McKinnon students highlighted. We have those at all of our school sites. There will be stipends, and that's why the budget here looks a little bit lower, because those are paid out at the end of the year, not in the middle of the year. We have extra hours budgeted, contracts, materials, and supplies. And again, looking at GLOWs, we do have some increases in math on our SBAC data from the spring last year at some of our school sites. And we did implement 6 hours of mathematical content knowledge training for all of our middle school math teachers this year. And we have some areas to continue growing. And so we're working on that closely with our partners. Okay, LCAP Goal 3 is about our multilingual students and really targeting our resources for them so that they can be as successful as possible. Again, here are the metrics for those, all in progress. We have lots of metrics for English learners, and then our actions are also all in progress. Our spending so far is about half. And the big item that this goal pays for is for the three of our 4 EL specialists in the district. We have one who's paid out of CSI targeted money from the state at Santa Rita, but our EL specialists at JG, at Gavilan View, and at Santa Rita are all paid out of LCAP. So we did have some increases in English learner progress at JG and at Santa Rita last year. And one of the biggest things that we did to address English learners last year and then expanded this year are the implementation of a designated ELD curriculum, English 3D. So last year we began that for 4th through 8th graders, this year for kindergarten through 3rd. So we're anticipating that we're not going to see these declines that we saw last year at some of our schools, but see increases at every school. LCAP Goal 4 is really around technology to improve learning. I'm going to move through these metrics and actions pretty quickly. They are all in progress. We've done really well spending in this area, thanks, Krisha. And it does support our library media techs, our IT specialists. Don't worry, we won't run out of money to pay you. We'll make sure you're covered. We have funds available for technology, both repairs and new replacements that we need to have, as well as new technology we might need, and so forth. We have had a significant increase in classrooms regularly using technology tools. So that's, with some consistency, which is what we want to see. Not that we want teachers and students to constantly be on devices, but we want a consistent use from classroom to classroom. We've had more than 50 ViewSonic displays installed across the district, and you've seen pictures of students using those where they're interacting. Teachers have participated in multiple PD sessions that are focused on ed tech, and we have reports from parents that 100% of students and families have access to internet at home. So that's a bright spot. We do have some grows. We really want to streamline our educational technology applications. We have found pockets of things where we have, 2 or 3 things that do the same thing. And so people are choosing what they like, which is great, but we could tighten our budget and really be more strategic with those funds by streamlining that. We want to continue installing the ViewSonic displays. That's being done as the current TV displays age out, and increase the average number of minutes per week on iReady MyPath in most grade levels so that they're reaching the ideal 40 to 45 minutes per week. LCAP Goal 5 is all about our special education students, especially those in additional subgroups, to increase their performance, academic and cognitive, emotional, and behavioral needs. So again, looking at the metrics, they are all well in progress, as well as the actions. And we wanted to add a note that this goal is not currently funded in LCAP because we have separate funding for special education that covers most of these needs. We may be assessing some things that we may want to put into LCAP under this goal to add additional support where we know that there's a high need. So there are a few metrics that we looked at Saturday. There's the distance from standard, which is how far below the standard are we or how far above. And here you can see in ELA and math, we decreased in our distance from standard, which is not good. It went lower. In last year's SBAC, ELA and math, I'm sorry, take that back. I said the wrong thing. I am so sorry. I get caught up. No, that was a glow. We actually decreased, which means instead of coming down here, we're getting closer to that standard. So never mind. Sorry, Melanie. That's great news. And on the cast, we had an increased percentage of students who met or exceeded standard compared to the prior year. And we did have a combination of special education and general education teachers attending training this year to support special education students. And we had extremely positive feedback from the gen ed teachers who attended that because they really want to know how to support students with IEPs who are in their classroom. The areas for growth are suspension rates and attendance for special education students. Goal 6 is about providing challenging instruction and support for our students, improving academic success and college readiness. Again, we are making progress in the middle of delivering on these actions. We have spent about half of the budget. This is an area where we are paying for field trips for every class in the district to have at least one field trip this year. And a lot of those are about to happen. So that spending is going to definitely be taken care of between now and the end of the year. So aglow, we had a really wonderful participation rate from parents on the CHICS survey this year, much higher than last year. We have our 3 super subs hired per school site, and they are really blending with those school communities. And our class size averages are well under what our goal was with this action for making sure we keep those classes small. For grows, and these are all connected to that higher participation rate on the CHICS survey. Higher participation, more opinions, and we found that we have fewer parents who believe we are fostering a positive student learning environment, fewer who believe that our schools are motivating students to learn, and fewer who believe we offer opportunities for meaningful participation. So it was interesting with a bigger pool that decreased, but it's letting us know that there are those parents and students out there with these concerns that we can address. Goal 7 is really focused on student attendance. So addressing parent involvement, enhancing pupil achievement, and improving school climate. Again, we are in progress, metrics and actions. We're a little bit under half of the spending on this, but not too far off. And this is, oops, thank you, covering additional office clerks so that our previous office clerks who are now office clerk 2 can put a higher emphasis of their role on attendance. Our 2 community liaisons, communication, assistant principals for school climate, additional classified hours. For GLOWs, we're really going to celebrate at the end of this year the reduction in chronic absenteeism and the increase in our attendance rates. We've seen that as something that 86 to 95% is huge. For GROWs, we did not see significant changes in the school boredom report on CHICS, and we would have hoped to see an increase or a decrease in boredom, an increase in students being excited about being in school. Goal 8 is about creating a safe, supportive, and inclusive school environment. It includes student well-being, mental health, and equity, both through the school day and also extracurriculars and campus safety measures. Okay, we are in progress, with the exception of being complete with our basic school facilities and the Williams Act. We aced that. Yay. Our actions are in progress. These are the spending items. Again, we're right about halfway through, which is where we should be. This is where we are paying for our school counselors and school social workers, our alternative to suspension teacher, our restorative practices TOSA, some of our behavior aides, campus health and safety specialists, yard duty supervisors. So it has a lot of personnel, as well as extra hours for classified, the PlayWorks training, and other safety measures. So hooray, as a district, we increased on the California dashboard from orange to yellow for our suspension rate. New Republic suspension rate declined, as did JGMS's. Gavlan View suspension rate increased slightly. So we are let me say Summer, is constantly monitoring the suspension rates and working with her team to follow up with students and case manage to help to prevent that from increasing. Goal 9 is improving staff recruitment and retention within the district because we know continuity in staffing is what's best for our students. These are all in progress. As is the, oh, is that metric? This was supposed to be a goal here. Okay, or an action, I should say. Our spending items, again, are lower right now because a lot of the bills for these services and stipends are going to come in at the end of the year. But this does cover coaching for new teachers who are induction, teachers who are not credentialed yet, but are on a special permit or intern status. If we have administrators who are in new administrator induction, and materials and supplies. So this year we have 16 intern and pre-intern teachers receiving support and 24 induction coaches. Unfortunately, our staff retention fell slightly by 3%, so probably like 1 or 2 teachers more from the previous year. And it looks like we're on track to be at about the same place with teacher absences than the prior year. We were at 4.5% absences through December, and last year we were at 10% at the end of the year. And goal 10 is building school community capacity to address racism, discrimination, and bias to improve student well-being and success. This also applies to both through the school day and after school activities. We are in progress on every metric. Our spending is about a little less than a quarter of the way through. Invoices are pending. And so this is where we are contracting with groups to provide professional development to teachers, provide student groups like our Black Student Leadership Group that meets at lunchtimes, funded our student listening circles and parent forums, our PK parent classes. This is also where we're providing support for athletics for student engagement and well-being. So we have some great glows with professional development, our lunch groups, PK classes have been successfully attended. And importantly, we have a decrease in the number of students reporting that they feel harassed based on race or sexual orientation. We do still see rates of disparities in academic achievement across different demographics, and we want to see an improvement in that to close the gap, as we all know the saying goes. And again, on that CHIC survey, we had more parents believe that a decrease in the percent of parents believing that school treats all students with respect and promoting respect for cultural beliefs and practices. So those are some areas for us to improve. So I really whipped through all these because I know it's so much information and nobody wants to be here for hours. But if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer those.
I guess a little bit questions or comments as well. I know sometimes I appreciate the glows and the grows. As hard as sometimes to see the grow information, I think it's important to know that information because I know sometimes we just want to shine light on the positive stuff and then we don't. So I rather as you know, hey, we're missing on that part. It's better to see it, and that way you guys are addressing it. So I think I appreciate that about our district as we acknowledge where we have room for growth. At least we're going to make a plan for it. Because I think too often, a lot of times districts don't want to acknowledge those shortfalls and you can't fix them or work on them until you acknowledge that they're there. And it's interesting as far as the perception of activities and boredom, because I was looking at the amount of students that are participating in the extracurricular activities, and that's like growing. And I feel like we have more activities now this year.
The school boredom report is about in the classroom engagement.
in the
It's not
classroom,
after school. We actually, we increased in their access to those, but the school boredom report looks at student engagement in the classroom.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
something that we need to work on then definitely then.
Yeah, it's a confusing report, but yeah.
Yeah. And I know some when some of these reports are submitted, Is there anything that we can ask like those parents, like, do you have ideas of how we could shift that?
So some of
How does
that,
that kinda
that's
work
why
out?
we did our parent forums after as well, after we got those chick survey results. And we led some facilitated session with West Ed with Antoinette to dive in deeper to what those responses were and what could happen. So during our last PD day, Antoinette went through all of those results, and then they worked together to create plans around how to address any areas of deficit.
Okay, perfect. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the
And
plan.
I just want to say that's why we did our survey much earlier this year, so that we could get those results early on and have this whole rest of the year to really be working towards.
Summer, the chick survey is a standardized survey, so that's why what we do as follow up can give us that chance to get that more anecdotal and personal information.
And I appreciate that because I think sometimes people ask like, okay, well, you have this stuff they're doing, like, what are you gonna do about it now? Type of thing. So as long as we have a plan as far as what's not okay. From the rest of the board?
I had two questions, and doesn't have to be answered now. I noticed there was not progress on the MTSS for math. So just at some point when we have an idea about what we're doing, I'd love a presentation on that and our idea about what our goal is.
I actually could have updated that to show that it is now in progress. At the time I put this together, it had not yet started, but we have actually been visiting our cost meeting processes at each of the school sites, which
And
is.
can you clarify for the public what cost is?
And cost, what is that? Coordination of Services Team, which is a precursor to an SST, but really school staff with various lenses coming together with student referrals to see what interventions can be put in place to remedy the situation before it would rise to the level of an SST, before anything would rise to the level of special ed testing, but to try and intervene early and monitor how those interventions are working. So thank you for asking that.
And I just was going to add related to the math, we were actually in a meeting today where that was the focus. So they had gone in and looked at all students' math scores and then put a plan into place, for example, of what interventions that student would attend. Saturday Academy, Wednesday tutoring. They created a learning plan with each of those students to make sure that there was a clear target with that teacher. And then they created a check-in mentor with them to check in around their progress. So I was impressed to see that today as well.
No, that's amazing. Two other follow-up things. The one, I appreciated the following up regarding the tech at home. Please correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding right now is like 3rd through 8th is supposed to be taking Chromebooks back and forth. Do we have tech things that we think are going on at home for TK through 2nd or not?
Like as in them needing to have access to that
Yes.
tech. So right now I haven't heard that from the teachers. I haven't heard any feedback. I don't know, Krisha, I haven't heard any feedback from parents either around feeling like their students can't access learning at home. Anything that's going home with that grade level is not technology based, and they don't have the same out of school iReady requirement for them to use that
Okay.
technology. And for that, it's 100% of our families have internet access, and that's thanks to the great work of our liaisons who are connecting families with low cost, no cost internet, or getting them connected with a hotspot so that we can make sure they have access if they need it.
And the only thing I've heard in my own personal experience of talking to people, sometimes with iReady with the little kids, having, more than like 10 minutes, you lose them. So I know that some teachers that in my working district have, talked to parents about doing having access to my path at home, and that may be something we want or maybe something that we don't want, but just in terms of 40 minutes, if that's an expectation for K through 2 is in 2 different subjects, is really a lot. The last thing that I had, and it kind of circles back around to math, but also I know we've talked about in the Friday letter that the district is putting forward a response in regards to the screening for dyslexia that the state is mandating, and just for us to have an awareness when we're doing that, the dyslexia presents itself in math too, so that we're looking on either side.
Thank you. And we just, at District Curriculum Council on Monday, heard from presenters from 2 of the approved screeners. And we're able to see in one of them where, numbers are also part of the rapid naming. But we're really diving into those programs to determine, we have one more we're exploring, and then we'll determine which one we think will be the best fit for our district.
Thank you, and thank you for considering that.
You're welcome.
I don't have any questions, just going off of piggyback writing on what Jacob said, just thank you, for the presentation. It's a lot of information, but also for us to see, what we need to work on and how we're gonna get there. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item 8.2. It's the public hearing grant transportation plan for the school year 2024, 2025. It's 6:48 p.m. At this time, I'd like to open up the hearing. Has there been any public comments, or is anybody in?
There have not, and the plan has been posted on the business page for the website as public hearing.
Okay, and anybody here want to make comment regarding the public transportation plan? No? Okay. Then at 6:49, I'd like to close the hearing. And moving on to 9.1. Approval of resolution 25.02.02, non-reelection of probationary or temporary certificated employees.
Thank you. So this resolution is regarding Education Code 44954 and 44929.21, authorizing notice to temporary and probationary certificated employees of the decision whether to re-elect the employee for the next year.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, item 9.2 is approval of tentative agreement between CSEA Chapter 503 and the Santa Rita Union School District for the 2024-2025 contract negotiations.
Thank you. And to echo Juanita earlier, we always appreciate our collaboration with our CSEA chapter. I think we work really well together, and I feel very thankful for that. So we did come to a conclusion of our negotiations and agreed upon a one-time off-schedule bonus of $2,700 to each bargaining unit member employed at the time of payment, to increase the district's monthly contribution for medical benefits effective March 1st. An additional $300 bonus for unit members enrolled in a medical plan as of January 1st. And this is to offset the fact that SRTA settled negotiations sooner, so their increase went into place January 1st. To increase the number of years an early retiree may receive medical benefits from 3 to up to 5 years as eligible. We negotiated some work hours language to clarify selection process for summer and intersession assignments, and also added a section to the contract about the summer assistance program that we have been participating in for many years.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Yay.
And thank you for all you do. Schools can't function without the classified. Everybody knows.
Do you guys mind if we take a picture as a group since we're in celebration? Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to 9.3. Thank you. Approval of one-time Me-Too for the unrepresented groups for the 2024-2025 school year.
Thank you. Trying to move it on here. As you know, we have a few groups in the district that are not represented by a union, and so typically the board has looked at offering a Me Too offer for those unrepresented groups, which would be, again, the $2,700 bonus to each unit member employed at the time of payment, the same increase to the district's monthly contribution of medical benefits effective March 1st, and the same $300 bonus for unit members enrolled in a medical plan as of January 1st. And so that would be recommended for confidential, classified licensed, professional, supervisory, certificated management, classified senior management, assistant superintendent, and superintendent.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay. And then 9.4, approval of MOU between CSEA Chapter 503 and Santa Rita School District for the use of video camera monitoring.
The district and CSEA met to discuss the district's need and intended use of surveillance cameras within district facilities and grounds. So the attached MOU describes the agreed upon terms and conditions. And thank you to Juanita and team and Claudia Ariano for negotiating this and making sure it was a good plan for everyone.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, item 9.5, approval of MOU between SRUSD and CSEA Chapter 503 for early retirement notification bonus of $3,000.
Similar to what we've done in previous years, CSEA and the district have agreed upon a bonus of $3,000 for classified staff members who wish to retire if they submit their letter by no later than March 7th and retire at the end of this school year.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
And bless you. Similar item 9.6, approval MOU between SRUSD and Santa Rita Teacher Association for early retirement notification bonus of $3,000.
Thank you. This is exactly the same agreement, except with another bargaining unit. This is with our teachers union.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, item 9.7, approval of public disclosure AB 1200 for CSEA and Santa Rita Union School District for the 2024-2025 year.
That is my item, and it's pretty much, I'm not going to repeat everything that you mentioned, but it's pretty much in detail to the cost, and these documents we're required to put them out to the public. It's also something that we submit to Monterey County for review, making sure that our numbers and calculations are accurate. We actually got the letter back from MCOE yesterday approving the numbers that we have. So, and it's the same for the 9.8 as well.
Motion to approve 9.7?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, and 9.9 is approval.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I was doing them separate. 9.8.
9.8, sorry. Oh, you're right. Same item, but yeah, for this one. It
Motion,
looks really familiar. 9.8, approval of the public disclosure for unrepresentative units in Santa Rita Union School District for the 24-25 year.
motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, 9.9, approval of transportation plan for the school years 2024-25 and 25-26 school year.
That's also my item. It's also a requirement for us to receive the grant, the apportionment for transportation. It's a new grant, so we're required to bring the transportation plan as a public hearing, put it out there in the website, like Melissa mentioned, and it's here for approval. No changes from the last plan.
Motion to approve 9.9?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
9.10, approval of 2025-26 comprehensive school safety plans.
This is an annual update that we bring to you. As you can see, attached in there is the review by Good Governance, and we've met all requirements within our comprehensive safety plans for this year.
I'm in A, motion to approve 9.10, and B, thank you specific to Summer and all of the staff for exceptional work in regards to student safety.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
9.11, approval of 2025 single plans for student achievement.
Thank you. These are updates to the single plan for student achievement for each school for this school year. We were a little bit behind in doing them this year because of the change in the LCAP requirements and the templates. We are getting back on track and have already begun work towards this year, so they will come to you before the end of the school year for next year's plan.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, 9.12, approval of contract with, is it Kenji Art? Design for art instruction at La Jolla Elementary.
Thank you. This contract is for an art teacher to provide art instruction at La Jolla Elementary under our Proposition 28 grant funding from February through the end of the school year.
Motion to approve 9.12.
Second, but just to emphasize, if anybody has questions, fourth grade is also has something that they're doing on there. If any parent says, why isn't there a fourth grade? Teachers already have something and plan on there. That's why they're not part of that group.
And thank you, Cindy.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, 9.13, approval of IEE assessment contract.
Perfect. So this is an independent education evaluation. Parents have the right, when they're in disagreement about one of the assessments that the special ed team has conducted, they'll ask for an IEE. We have granted it and are working to hopefully bring this contract and get that going for the student.
Motion to approve 9.13.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, 9.14, approval of, is it Emergence contract?
This is also my item. We actually have a staff that's been working with us since the beginning of the year on the gen ed side of the house. And that student has since qualified for special education, and we've assessed for a staff member. So this is just moving the funding from the gen ed side to the special ed side fiscally.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, 9.15, approval of contract with Dingy Smart Sense LLC.
Thank you. This is Mr. Helm's item for nutritional services. This program will allow them to remotely monitor and track the temperature of all the refrigeration and freezer equipment in the district to better handle our nutritional needs and make sure we're always in safe temperatures.
Motion to approve 9.15.
I second that. This doesn't have to be answered right now, but I question if you could ask. I noticed that it's cloud-based, right? So let's say we were to go down, is there a backup for those numbers, or how would that information kind of get stored? If you could just emphasize, or if you know that.
So actually the cloud is the extra saving part. So
Okay.
they have access to the temperature and the information that we need in the district, and then it's stored in the cloud for later if we need to pull it up and track it. So it merges with the systems that Chuck already has in place. So it's an additional layer.
So if we were to go down internet, whatnot, I guess that's my question. Like, how would we have
Yes.
that info?
Food services, they're required to also in district keep the information on hand.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Did-
Second.
Did
We did have a
Second.
motion.
All
Okay,
those
second.
in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, 10.1, our next regular board meeting is March 12, 2025. Many suggested future board items.
Just a report out from the curriculum council if and when we've come up with the screener that we want to use.
Okay, and if I can get a motion to adjourn at 7:01.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 3-0.
Okay, have a nice evening, everybody.